Good morning, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Crypto Morning Coffee. I hope you guys have your coffee ready, locked and loaded, because we are going to talk about some very important stuff today. We are going to talk about the debt ceiling bill, how it is going with the new money printing or default of the US. We are going to talk about some very interesting metrics with regards to that debt, the money printing, Bitcoin, and some other maybe more bullish news. And we are also going to talk about things around Veve, Ecomi, and upcoming Veve drops, but also about the whole discussion with Barron network. And yes, guys, I still did not figure out how to roll my intro in this new streaming environment, but that doesn't matter. Instead, I will just say, hey everyone, it's the Patient Hodler coming at you with another live stream, and I hope you guys are well this morning. It's already June. Time passed very, very quickly there, and yeah, Smarty Pants is already here saying morning fam. I think Smarty Pants needs a medal or so. And by the way, I think my cam is a little bit defocused because of the microphone here, so maybe we can fix that. Let me see. Yeah. Also guys, 5 people already here, that's good. Smash the like button for me, subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet, tick the little bell to not miss another video or live stream. And I want to thank everyone who is supporting me as a rare hodler, as a channel member, whether it is on Patreon or on YouTube. Most likely should be from now on be YouTube. YouTube channel members get the small red OMI circle behind their names. Otherwise, for now, this subscription is only for supporting me. And All Chat Gaming is already bringing the fire to the channel. Thank you so much for the $5 donation. Didn't you just send me a super sticker yesterday? I'm very grateful for that already here in the very beginning of the stream. That's how you can enjoy some coffee here today with the VeChain mug for all of you who like VeChain. By the way, I have that mug because I bought it to check out the QR code and how it's minted on the blockchain, not because I would be sponsored or in any way by VeChain. Now, but let's jump right in the topics as I have mentioned before. And if you're watching this video after the stream, then check for timestamps. Yesterday, I couldn't manage to get the timestamps in for the evening and morning live stream, but I will try to do so as soon as possible. Life is crazy right now with work, and that's also why you guys that are here are keeping me motivated. And Dorian says, moin from Hamburg. That is good. I was in your city the last weekend. I was in Hamburg with my girlfriend. My girlfriend is from Brazil, and that was the first time that she actually has seen Hamburg. So we were in the Speicherstadt, at the port, at the very front of the port, at Jungfernstieg, and but that's greetings to Hamburg, here in my country, Germany. G-Money is also here. Good morning, Patient Hodler. Good morning, G-Money, to you, and good morning to everyone that is already here. Smash the likes for this live stream. Go out to more people and gather more people here in the chat. You should be seeing, I don't know what it depends on, but you should be seeing the live chat also right now on top of the cam. Sometimes it seems to not really work or bug a little bit out. Anyways, as you can see here, the debt ceiling bill passes in the House, advances to the Senate days ahead of default line. The headline says it all. we are basically at the deadline that was there before, which is the first. Then they saw they couldn't manage to get this through before the first, so they said they actually have money until the 5th of June. Anyways, it doesn't really matter because the government around Joe Biden, and everyone says now it is basically the work of Joe Biden, manufactured this deal and manufactured this deal. Why is my chat not showing that message? So on the stream it is, but okay. So they manufactured that deal, and now they passed it through the House. So and now it is going to the Senate, where it needs 60 votes to be passed. So as we said on this channel before, the likelihood of them in the end really defaulting on the debt is very, very low, and it gets lower by the day because of exactly that. As they say here, the House passed this project to not run out of money. The Fiscal Responsibility Act is the result of a deal reached between House Speaker Kevin McCarthy and President Joe Biden. And by the way, guys, this is another very, very good example of bullshit titles. The Fiscal Responsibility Act it's fiscal and responsibility, and the result of the fiscal responsibility is to add a couple of trillion on top of your existing debt to finance to push out the inevitable and finance yourself for another 2 years, so it doesn't fall in your administration. If that's the definition of responsibility, I think that's, I don't know what what then is like parental responsibility in families. It's one of these bullshit titles like Federal Reserve, right? Where the Federal Reserve is not federal and not a reserve, or the Treasury that has no treasure at all, or that everywhere around the world military is called defense, while most of them are not defending really. But yeah, you know what I mean. And this is one of these examples. So anyways, the Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer said the Senate will do everything we can to move the bill quickly, obviously, because they only have 4 days until that thing has to be through. Smarty Pants says they fixed MCP. Okay, I will look at it a little bit later when we are at Veve. And Blaze is here saying, let's go PH. Hope they keep printing those fake dollars. I think they will. There's a very high likelihood. What else? Is there anything more important? I think that's it. Only that there's a sighting here. There's been a very good vote in the House. I hope we can move the bill quickly here in the Senate and bring it to the president's desk as soon as possible, because the president is actually the last one to sign off. But I think there is no problem at all with that, because he was the one who created that thing in the first place, right? Or negotiated or brokered the thing in the first place. So then neither side got everything it wanted. That's the responsibility of governing, says Biden here, negotiating in good faith. McCarthy says, I have been thinking about this day before the election because I knew the debt ceiling was coming. I wanted to make history, he said in a press conference. So if that's the main thing, then I want politicians that think long time ahead, although I'm in Germany, so there is maybe for me it's not to give too much thoughts for the US, but I would want politicians that think ahead to make things better in years and not to make history right now. But maybe there wasn't. I think the ship has already sailed. There is no chance other than this, kicking down the can of passing bill after bill down the road and just see where this ends. probably in some collapse of the world currency in the future. Now, CNBC, it's actually CNN, says here debt ceiling deal won't have much impact on the US economy, analysts say. What time is it here? It is 7:26 a.m. in the morning, and we are here for the Crypto Morning Coffee. Taking a sip from the coffee. Welcome to the channel, R. Hope you enjoy the stream. Now, this one I did only pull up because I wanted to show you what's in this debt ceiling deal actually, what is the hard money truth, and that's the deal would suspend the federal government's 31.4 trillion debt limit through January 2025. It would keep non-defense spending relatively flat in fiscal 2024 and then set a cap of 1% in spending increases for fiscal 2025. So it basically limits spending and then you can increase spending. So what is basically going to happen is that even here we have a perfect roll up into our Bitcoin bull run, because we are right now 2023 to 2024 with flat spending of that newly printed money, because the rest is for debt obligations and paying interest rates on the $31.4 trillion debt. And then you can increase spending even by 1%, which when we are leading into 2025, which is then actually when there is a bull run, altcoin season and so on. So the US government fiscal year runs from October through September. So next fiscal year starts around that. And it is interesting. In addition to curbing spending, the deal would protect veterans' healthcare benefits, temporarily broaden work requirements for certain adults receiving food assistance benefits, claw back some crisis relief funds, but funding for the International Revenue Service, start student loan repayments, maintain climate measures, and expedite a natural gas pipeline in West Virginia. That's what is basically allowed. So much to this. Let's get to metrics. And guys, if you enjoy this and you haven't yet, smash the like button. It's the only thing that really helps this channel to grow. And we have been growing pretty good in this bear market so far. Thank you all for that. Let's look at this tweet from Only Charts here. By 2033, so only, 10 years ahead, the US debt will be 51 trillion. They will print into oblivion and they will keep eroding your purchase power. Act now. The dollar will lose, Bitcoin will win. Stop doubting, start learning, and let's see what we actually have here. And that is the forecast of the gross federal debt of the United States for fiscal years 2022 to 33. So this was actually set up from last year to right now. And as we can see here, we are now here in between at the 31.4 trillion, heading up to 32 trillion. And that is, let's say, a more linear, a little bit more than linear growth probably of the US debt. And if that's the case, then you know what is happening, because if the money printer goes on in this way, then this is also letting the DXY, the dollar collapse, the dollar value collapse to other currencies, which then always led into strong bull runs for Bitcoin. So as you can see here, that would be the projection, get out of my face here, the projection for the debt. And this is how it would look for the S&P 500. Just a projection based on this 51 trillion US debt. The S&P 500 would just continue on this printing base towards somewhat of a bubble pop one day. Once this is getting out of control, and probably it's going to spiral out of control before it's just this green line is just a projection. It's just taking the same printing for 10 years that we already had, and added it into this chart. I don't fully agree with this, because there are so many things that can happen before. But the math here is very simple. It says 51 trillion divided by 31 trillion, 1.64 increase, and from now an increase from the points that the S&P 500 is now to 6,870. Are we too simplistic here? And if that happens, we know that crypto is highly correlated to the S&P 500. If the S&P 500 has a good day, then usually also crypto has, and ultimately that is all related to the DXY. More in energy. Did I miss something? No, I just talked and rambled on about the US debt situation and how this could affect Bitcoin. I just looked at some news regarding that. It passed the House. It is moving to the Senate and then to the President. So probably in a couple of days we have another, 2 trillion US dollars approved to be printed along the next 2 years to get us up to somewhere 34 trillion in the US. And that's the only thing that matters. Your coffee is ready to go? That's good. Mine as well. Let's take a sip of coffee and move on with the good stuff. Yeah, because right now we have this. This is something that I found interesting for Bitcoin. And also, if you are a Veve enthusiast and you have heard about NFTs and mint numbers and collectors and mint numbers and physical collecting and so on, this is also interesting from the Bitcoin standpoint, right? Bitcoin fragments could become more valuable than full Bitcoins. Collectors known as set hunters, so single Satoshi hunters, are collecting Satoshis from rare Bitcoin. And those fragments may eventually be worth more than regular Bitcoin. So how does that look? Since January, there have been more than 10 million inscriptions on the largest blockchain in the world, and this number continues to grow exponentially. The context here is the ordinals protocol, which allows the ordered identification of Satoshis, the smallest subdivision of a Bitcoin, enabling each of them to have an individual identity. From that, people can inscribe sets with arbitrary content, creating Bitcoin native digital artifacts, more commonly known as non-fungible tokens. So these are NFTs on Bitcoin that are minted on a set. Among the various narratives resulting from this technique, the existence of an extremely underground group of individuals who identify, track, and trade high-value historical Satoshis has come to light. They are known as set hunters. There is no denying that Bitcoin ecosystem is undergoing a period of tremendous innovation since the advent of Ordinals protocol in early 2023. Good morning, Tito420. Welcome to the stream. Almost 20 people here. Smash the like button to get more people in here. And we are going to talk about exactly this point here right now, because there are some things to say. First of all, ordinals are seen by Bitcoin maxis sometimes as something negative. But if you look at it, the whole thing that is built right now on ordinals is NFTs, NFTs and meme coins. Meme coins have always helped tremendously the main ecosystem that they are built on, and NFTs have helped in bull runs to make something even more popular, even more used. So if this is on Bitcoin, in my opinion, it's a good thing. Next thing is, if there are people that are going through the effort to look for very low or very historical mints, so to say, of single Satoshis. I mean, I don't even know how to do that, right? And that doesn't say anything, because actually I'm not the biggest tech expert out here, right? But if they are going through this effort, think about what you can do with a single Veve app, because on Veve you have the mint numbers right in your face, and people can look for historical numbers, people can look for specific collectibles with specific mint numbers, and many people are already stacking that. So as we see here, the main activity involves transacting millions of BTC in search of Satoshis that were present in historical moments. Imagine going through the effort to purchase and sell and transacting millions of BTC just to look for a specific Satoshi that has been in that specific moment, right? So there are, you can see here right now, there are even comparable to Veve, uncommon, rare, epic, and vintage. So we can see this here in this tweet. So the first set of each block is an uncommon. The first Satoshi of each difficulty adjustment period is a rare. The first set of each halving epoch is an epic. The first set minted in the first 1000 blocks is a vintage. And then you have Satoshi's Mind by Nakamoto himself. First transactions, palindromes. Look at this. Also on Veve, people are collecting palindromes. And by the way, you cannot see this really good, so I get my face a little bit more out of the way. And then there's also the Satoshi from the 10,000 pizza bitcoins used to purchase 2 Papa John's pizzas. So this opens the doors for a lot of things in the NFT space as well, right? So besides the rare and uncommon, the scarcity that we have, let's say, artificially by Veve, in our NFT space, right? There are other values that could come along in the future for Veve NFTs. If you would say, for example, an NFT that in the blockchain or in the what is it called, Immutascan history has been owned before, for example, by David Yu, or has been owned by whatever celebrity. People could specifically look for a specific item that has only been owned by one person before, which is a famous person, and then purchase this to own this forever, for example, right? And pay a premium on this. Or something that is, for example, I saw some people are collecting the last mint of a specific comic or collectible on Veve. So it's already starting what we are also seeing here for the ordinals. And I think keeping an eye on that, and All Chat Gaming is bringing the orange of Bitcoin here in the chat, right? Keeping an eye on what is happening in other spheres. That's what we want to do on this channel, to derive where the collector scene could be going in the future here. Also for Veve. G-Money says collectors are awesome. Angry Lotus says hilarious, like a new lottery. Any of us could have some of those rare sets. Yes, we could. I don't even know. I don't even know how I search for them yet. But honestly, how do I look for them, right? So maybe I can just look into my sets, and by accident from whatever exchange who didn't care, doing like a saving, I stacked some sets that are actually a lot of very rare. So I need to figure out how to do that, and then look at the Satoshis. If I have one of these, like for example a Nakamoto Satoshi somehow, or I don't know if there are a lot of them out there, to be honest, because yeah. Anyways, it seems to be complicated, but then again, if it's complicated, actually exchanges and other people could offer a service to look for these. Yeah, that is good. And then this one is also something I wanted to show to you. JPMorgan reveals $900 billion, sorry. Let me get back here in the screen. Yeah. Gold-based $900 billion gold-based implied Bitcoin price alongside an Ethereum upgrade prediction warning. So let's see. This is from May 31st, so this is from yesterday. And basically they say the Bitcoin price doubled from around 15 to 30,000. We all know that, pulling the Ethereum price with it. However, serious regulatory fears, especially in the US, have weighed on prices, with some even warning President Joe Biden could kill Bitcoin and crypto. I doubt that this is happening, and especially for Ethereum, I don't see the risk, because actually in a couple of days, the SEC has to reveal the Hinman documents, that where Hinman in a speech in 2018 said that that Bitcoin and Ethereum are commodities given their very distributed and decentralized nature. Now obviously because of that, whenever there's an upgrade for Ethereum, basically people are fearful that it could be labeled a security together with the entire altcoin market and so on. But that doesn't look like it for now, let's say. Now, as Bitcoin, Ethereum and crypto traders brace for a 1.1 trillion market upheaval, strategists at Wall Street giant JPMorgan have issued a bullish gold-based Bitcoin price prediction that could see the Bitcoin's capitalization climb to nearly 900 billion. So yeah, that is what they are saying here. And then, is there anything more? Yeah, there we go. With the gold price rising above $2,000, the value of gold held for investment purposes outside central bank is currently valued around 3 trillion, JPMorgan analyst says here. In turn, this implies $45,000 price for Bitcoin under the assumption that Bitcoin equalizes gold in private investor portfolios in risk, capital, or volume adjusted terms. And I think that's only a short-term prediction here. But that's also in line where we said that Bitcoin could go in the near future, right? So yesterday in the stream, and guys, we are heading lower here while we speak. So let's get quickly without the lines first, what we're seeing. So the last days during this ongoing discussion about the debt ceiling have been red. The reason for this is that the DXY, because of that uncertainty, is still green. The pump is still not over. This is the DXY. But for Bitcoin, in yesterday's stream, if you have missed it, we have outlined that the short term is bearish, but the long term is extremely bullish. And we have outlined this by drawing in this massive potential cup and handle pattern that we see here with this neckline at around 30,000, which happens to be actually the massive trapdoor range that we had built up before, fallen through into the bear market for Bitcoin, which also is this falling wedge that we have broken out, tested up. So it all fits very, very good together here. And now we are observing on this channel how Bitcoin reacts. And we have said that yesterday that we expect some more downside to the lower end of this flag. The question is, and someone has asked yesterday what I would say in terms of trading this right now. And honestly, guys, I can only repeat, I would stay away from trading in these uncertain times, because the debt ceiling, the increase of the debt ceiling, together with whether we are pausing rate hikes or not, are such crucial make or break events that we could either come up here and break out for long or short, which is why I don't or fall out of this flag and test lower prices. So I wouldn't be trading too much there. And by the way, I'm not trading. I just purchase. I hodl. things for the long term, and at some point I load them off for profits and go into other things, or wait a little bit and go back. That's what I want to do. That's my plan. I'm not in a position to tell you about trading tactics. That's not the point of this, but I want to look at the big picture here, and the big massive cup and handle could be forming, but as said yesterday, we could just fall down here and form something like a double bottom, for example, and then this cup and handle pattern is obviously not valid anymore. So in the moment it would still be valid even if we do something like this, right? But we will observe this and see where it is going, if it continues to look like this, but right now it's just picture perfect. Energy says, what do you think about Paul Barron's statement that Veve is no longer in his watch list? We are coming to that right now. Angry Lotus says, I know it is risky, but I do a bit of Bitcoin OMI trading when I get a good feeling. So far, it is working out pretty good. So congratulations to you. If you have the trader genes, then you are one of the couple % that can actually pull it off. We have seen that a lot, actually, that a lot of traders are trading OMI. So just a quick look into Ecomi here on the side. Because that chart was actually outdated a little bit. Rejected again at this moving average. Nonetheless, we had seen this before. When Bitcoin rallied, OMI suddenly started to plummet, so people traded out of OMI and went into Bitcoin. And then when Bitcoin corrected, OMI actually went a little bit green, so we have observed this, that also whales do the same as Angry Lotus says here, move out of Bitcoin, many alts are like this in the mid caps, that traders just pile up bags when they can trade, and also early Bitcoiners that just use Bitcoin to get into something and then go back into Bitcoin, right? So they use pairs where you can trade Bitcoin directly into other cryptos, so that happens as well. So yeah, let's get to what Energy just mentioned, and look here at this thing from Paul Barron Network, and I want to pull this up for you guys so you can hear it. So I'm going to mute myself. It's only 30 seconds, but you should be hearing it.
Is Veve dead?
Is which one dead?
Is Veve dead?
I don't even know what that is.
Veve, come on, man. All right, so
Veve.
Veve, yes, Veve is dead, I'm afraid to say. After we saw
That's why I don't know what it is.
Opening of which was it? We just saw one the other day. Well, the Cryptoys opening was amazing. If you guys didn't catch that on Metaverse Insider, go back and check out our interview with their founder and CEO, Cryptoys. You'll see what I'm talking about in terms of engaging NFTs and engaging digital collectibles. Very, very big deal. And we've exited all of Veve. We pulled it out of CPI. Unfortunately, it's just not on our watch list anymore.
Okay, so this is from a very popular channel, Paul Barron Network, who has covered along the last 1 year or so Veve. And this is, in general, it is a good channel. It is a very good channel. So it's not about the channel. And he has done some very valid and solid criticism. Just what I feel, this is too flat for me. I said it yesterday on Twitter. If you don't follow me on Twitter, you can do that as well. I said it yesterday on Twitter. This is just too there is no explanation behind it. And he's sitting down with this guy who doesn't know Veve, and he's like, yeah, Veve's dead. And the other guy, oh, that's why I didn't hear about it. And it's not on our watch list anymore because they are not doing, and so on. And that's just not enough for me, right? Because in the end, it's like, how do you justify that a project is dead, right? Just because they didn't meet the milestones that you have, that means that a project is in problems. That could even mean that it is in deep shit, right? We address this more than enough on this channel, but the thing here is that there is a big gap between actually a project being dead and a project having problems to come out of the curve, building what they have initially in their excitement and bull market promised, right? So we have more than enough criticized all of that, but there is criticism and saying, hey, Veve has their problems, and for now I cannot recommend this, because you have to see, Paul Barron has channel where he basically has a portfolio recommendation and also a paid service for recommending certain projects that fall into the category of metaverse and NFT space in the Web3, right? So he is taking Veve out. Why? Because Veve didn't perform as he wanted and he needs to protect himself. So in that sense, as Crazy Dan says here, Paul Barron is just like a politician. It's true, he is more like a funds manager, just that he doesn't really manage the funds. He just gives some recommendations there on his webpage. And then also he has an indicator where he is basically measuring he said something about CPI, but more it's about sentiment. So he has some indicators about sentiment, and the sentiment indicator for Veve right now is very bad on Paul Barron, so he has no other choice to take Veve out. But and then he also said this on Twitter. He clarified this a little bit more on Twitter, but I think I still disagree with him. He says here, because someone says, okay, when they focus on unboxing experience, then you will agree they are beyond most projects, because you have heard in the video he's referring to, hey, by the way, have you seen Cryptoys? And Cryptoys just put out some bubblehead Star Wars collectibles that I also talked here about on the channel, in terms of being real NFTs, being on layer 1 and so forth, being really minted on the blockchain, versus Veve that is doing the off-chain NFT database approach with a roadmap on layer 1 that points to who is the owner and who not. So the certificate of ownership, or the direction of the certificate of ownership, is on the blockchain, but the actual token is off-chain on Veve. So in that sense, we had discussed this here on the channel. But Paul Barron network is, I think he's going in the wrong direction here, because if he is not satisfied with a project like Veve that is building since years, in the sense, yeah, okay, NFT Heroes saying, I have to react to this, right? That they are not off-chain, dude. We can discuss if you want. So IMX said it themselves. IMX is not a blockchain. They are basically a database, and you have the possibility to bring the token itself onto the blockchain if you want. But the Veve NFTs are not minted on the blockchain. That is how I understood it. That is what also Hello K said on my stream. But NFT Hero says, I understand what you're saying. So yeah, give us your opinion, but you're thinking wrong. So again, as far as I understand it, the roadmap to the token is on the blockchain. Yeah, the proof is on chain. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But the token is not on chain. It's just a collection. It's just a list of basically transactions where this token is in which wallet it is on the database. But the token itself is not on chain. You can bring the token on chain. Yeah. Yeah. So let us know what your addition or your point is. It's not for me. What NFT Hero says here, for me, it's not a difference. For me, it doesn't make a difference. It's just that other projects are making the difference, and fudders or people that are blockchain maxis, they make the difference, right? So why do I address this? Because I'm a channel, I have to address all sides to give you the full picture of the site, which is why I also invited Hello K to put out his point. And in that stream, if you have watched that stream, I said that I personally don't care about this. No one else besides 50 crypto enthusiasts will care about this. And the difference is only that the token in itself then would be a first appearance on the blockchain for these people, right? So I myself, I don't care about this as long as the proof of ownership is already on the blockchain, which it is, right? But for example, Cryptois is making an effort to try to make that distinction between Veve and Cryptois to get people into their project. And we have to see that as long as there are people out there making that distinction, basically there are people that will read this and there are people that will care. Ordinals are on chain. Yeah, that's true, Outchat Gaming. All the token is the proof. So both you just have to prove. So it's the same. Either if the token or the Merkle tree proof is on chain, it's just the proof is on chain. The token is just proof. Hope that makes sense. I know what you're getting at. It's a very fine line. It's a very fine distinction between what Veve has and what is if you are actually minted on a layer 1, right? With the token. Nevertheless, I think it's worth just pointing that out, because if we are looking at it from an investor perspective, we have basically in our pro and con list have to have one point that the actual token is not on layer 1, and if the and if there's just a list that is being sent to the layer 1 that proves where this token is, but the token itself, yes, the proof is on layer 1 regardless. I agree with you. I don't disagree with you, NFT Hero. That's what I'm saying. I don't disagree. It's just such a thin line, right? But anyways, I don't disagree. I'm fully on your side. What you're saying, it's just that we have to make that distinction, right? No, the list and the token is not the same. It's not the same. It's a list of. It's just not the same, because otherwise you would have to mint the token on L1, right? From IMX. Database into Ethereum, and that's just something that is possible but not happening. So from my understanding, it's not the same. Anyways, yeah, we are on the same side here. Maybe, and as I said before, there are many technical guys and that can explain this way better than I can. That's why I invite people on my channel. Yeah, it's about control, because if the token was on L1, then we could self-custody it. If the NFT itself was on L1, you could send it to a MetaMask wallet or whatever, and you could self-custody it. It's not the case. But anyways, let's move on with the topic here. So one last point that I wanted to discuss here is this one. The happy tree friends
for release on.
Oh, sorry, that was from the video. So here we are with the upcoming happy tree friends drop, and you cannot see this, so let me get this right out of the way a little bit here. So I think personally, they look really, really good. I'm going for the drop. They are only 25 gems. All collectibles are animated apparently, which is, I think it's new. I think we never had a drop where all editions were animated, and these animations are so cool. So this is probably for me one of the most nostalgic drops, and it's going to. It's going to be something that really. So the red one is super cool. The one that burns its face is the secret rare, only 550 editions there. Then we have, I hope I hit something scarce so that I don't have to spend so much to collect the full set. But this for me is actually something where I really don't care about selling or stuff like that or investing. This is just something that I personally want to collect. So I'm going for this drop because it's just looking so cool. I think that could be, as Justin says here, the cleanest Veve animation. They are more simple, let's say, but they are just so fun to watch and look for. They're looking all so good. Whatever studio made these, please give them more stuff, right? Please give them more stuff. I guess this will be set 220 for me. Yeah, it's just cool. It's just good looking, and we never know what's coming for these. I hope I get this bubblegum guy. I will buy them all over the time probably. HTF are awesome, as Angry Lotus says. I remember how shocked I was as a young person, I don't even know how many, certainly it was not for my age. And the first one that I ever saw from Happy Tree Friends is when they're sitting there and cutting lemon, and I was like, oh, that's cute. I was looking at this, and then this nail falls off of the lemon selling board on top, and it just comes down and smashes the face of one of these. And I was super shocked about this. So definitely not a good job from the television there to hide that from children's eyes. But anyways, I think it's just there is more to this drop than actually meets the eye, because besides that being very well made, that is adult content drop, and that opens up the gates for so to say collectibles that are not children friendly, right? So maybe there is a potential about that. Still have the sound of them in my head. I also have, you guys, if you don't know Happy Tree Friends, look up Happy Tree Friends on YouTube and just listen to that intro. So the intro is so good from Happy Tree Friends. Maybe I should, I don't know if you can use that copyright free in some way for an intro. I just wanted to make an intro for a video using that soundtrack. Yeah, la 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 la. Yeah, as Angry Lotus says, it's super funny. Construction Bro is a demon. It's adult content, but here we see no blood. We don't see blood, but the brand in itself, the stuff in itself is a bloody content, and maybe there is an option. I mean, also what you have to see is, for example, that this the guy here is just getting grilled by that hoster, so that's definitely not something you want to show children so that they don't try this out. But anyways, unfortunately I have to go because I have to get to work and do some hours here extra. It was a lot of fun, and NFT Hero, also thank you for giving me that discussion here about the NFTs. I really appreciate that. I really enjoy that, and I think we're all on the same side here in the end. Guys, smash the like button if you enjoyed today's Crypto Morning live stream. If you want more Crypto Morning live streams, let me also know in the comments if you watch this afterwards. Don't forget to like on your way out, to subscribe if you haven't yet, to tick the little bell so you always get notified. Morning streams are always somewhere between 7 and 8 CET AM, 7 and 8 AM CET. And yeah, let's with that said, wherever you are on the world, have yourselves a great morning, evening, day, night, or afternoon, and see you in the next live stream video.